Because the thing is this, like what I found is whatever you might say, I want to have great culture. I want this. I want a team that, man, like everybody just kind of empowers each other, loves on each other, recognizes each other. But then you got to ask yourself, like, are you being that person on the team you're currently on? Like when you said I had Jordan's name on my back, the thing is this, like, it's like marriage, right? Like there's always things you can find that are phenomenal about your spouse where you can be like, this is so great. And then there's things that you can find that are not. It's what do you focus on, you're going to get more of. What you magnify, you'll multiply. And the thing is in this business, like whoever you're working with, it's easy to probably find something you're like, well, I don't know about that. But that's not being a good team player. The good team player is like, how do we all win this together? And if you're that, you're going to produce that as you hire your first new agents. But if you're not, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day like, man, what the heck's up with this group, dude? Well, I wonder how you were with the person you were working with, and you just replicated that into yours. So realize that these little things that you think like, well, I would do this different in my business. Well, what are you doing now and what you can control? Because you don't got your business now. That's what you're saying. Like, how do you be a good team player now? How do you create the right culture? So if you want people that are accountable, are you accountable? If you want people that go the extra mile, do you go the extra mile? If you want agents that are disciplined, are you disciplined? If you want people that are selfless and they're not looking to feed their ego, are you being selfless enough in your ego? Dude, that's what you did, bro.
Yep.
When you're selflessly helping these other agents, like what's not seen, because what people think is like, well, there's no money being made there. For one, you didn't care about the money. It wasn't about that. But by the way, there was. Oh, there was. Because when you started hiring agents, man, and you had that selflessness to be able to answer the phone call at any time, because heck, if you're doing it for agents on your team, and now you've developed that habit, well, now your team's going to do the same thing. And dude, that's so good, man. So anybody on here, two things that I want to highlight real quick that Gage said is to start publicly talking about what you're going to do. Like, man, you can say today, if it's a dial day, like, man, it's Monday. You send out a message on Slack. Hey, excited today. This is the day where I will not stop until I book 20 appointments. Just say it. By the way, encouraging all of you to do the same thing. You guys got this. It's just, if you want to be encouraged, be an encouragement.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like, I think that stuff is so good. And then you start to be seen. The one thing I want to say, and then I want you to keep going on this, Gage, is like I wanted to, for me, I think back, like when I drove 5 hours, you know how I said, I also wanted to put my head above the crowd because I knew that there was people that nobody's self-made. I think that's the stupidest thing somebody could say. It's like, you should just get punched in the mouth if you said that, because you weren't self-made. I'm the first man. Like, no, you weren't. You had people help create you. Like, it's like I've got probably 10 people for sure I can think of that they had an axe, a chisel, and man, they chiseled me all the way. As far as becoming the person I am today, it's different than what I would have been if I never met them. You know, like, I'm not self-made. But I knew that there's people that were a part of this team that would be able to help me become who I needed to become. You know,
I think we preach, be the agent that you want to hire.
That's good.
So that's what it falls into. Like, and the idea of what you do, half your team will do, is 100% real. So if you're mad at this aspect of your business, or you're mad at this aspect of your team, you have to look in the mirror and understand that you probably set yourself up for that by not doing exactly what you said. Like, you can't expect to have encouragement if you're not providing the encouragement. Yeah. So I love that.
Yeah, we used to say, be the copy worth duplicating. Same concept, man. Literally. That's exactly what it is. But, you know, so Gage, what I would do is I wanted to stick my head above the crowd. So, because the reality is this, like, dude, you have a lot of agents. Like, your organization, you know, you're helping, you know, are you your board member now?
No, we're
close to it.
Yep.
Close to the board member. And so the reality is this, like, when it comes to getting there, there's probably been a lot of people that have kind of given you some different, that fed you differently, right? Like, it's like, if I want to be a more straightforward, direct person, I get a lot of that from Sean. If I want to be more charismatic, like, I'm a product of all these different people, because everybody's got different strengths and weaknesses, right? Yep. But I knew that I wanted to, you've got all these agents, you can't think about every single agent out, because you've got such a massive business, you just can't do it. And you don't have to do it because it's up to the team, the agent on the team, to be a good team player. They stick their head above the crowd and say, man, I'm like, look at me. Well, how do you do that? Work ethic, intelligence, and gratitude, right? You're putting in a ton of work. You're driving the 5 hours to the meeting. You're always there. Wherever you look, man, they're always there. They're always asking questions. They're always reaching out for feedback. They're grateful. They always express gratitude and appreciation. Always find the good in anything. Like that kind of, they're intelligent. They're growing themselves. They're developing themselves. They seem like they're thinking about their business. They got a business IQ here. That's what keeps your head above the crowd. And when your head's above the crowd, now the person that you have to have in your life on that team that's going to get you to where you want to go, because you can't be self-made, they're more likely to drop down. But you guys can control that. You control that with your Slack.
Yep.
You're plugging in your engagement. Man, it's a big deal, man.
No, it really is. And I think that we have to be able to preach duplication if you want to continue to grow a business. If you're doing something so far-fetched, you can't expect, 10, 15, 20 agents to be able to do that. But like you hit on a big thing, like driving 5 hours to Phoenix. Like if you're driving 2 hours to an appointment, you better believe you should be sharing that, because the big thing is we need to normalize the grind. Everyone is trying to take these different there are no shortcuts. I got a Honda in June of 2020 with 24 miles on it. Right now it has 41,000 miles on it. That's a lot of windshield time. I don't do a whole lot outside of work. This is what I do. Like that's how many miles I drove. So let's make that normal. Like you're gonna be putting in this effort. And when we put up these highlight reels of these, big days, big weeks, what did that week look like? Like we should share what that week looked like, because then people would probably push themselves to the next level.
Yep.
I'm not doing enough. I need to do more of this. But we get so caught up in seeing the highlight reels in Family First Life and thinking that we can take these shortcuts to get to those highlight reels. A week ago, we were down in John Wetmore's office, and he was talking about tracking appointments booked and your issue paid, and then dividing that and seeing how much you make per appointment. Because if I'm trying to coach you up, Paul, to get to 40 families helped in a month, but you're only helping 6 families, you think helping 40 families is so far-fetched, and he has some crazy insane talent, or he's so much better at this business than you. But if I could say, this is how much you make per this appointment, and this is how much he makes per appointment, all of a sudden it's just he works harder than you. Yeah. He works more than you. And it's not so far-fetched. But trying to articulate that with words is really hard, because now you're just trying to breathe belief that they can do it, when you could just use numbers to get to that point.
That's right.
So just normalize the grind. Normalize what you're doing. If you're producing at a high level, start sharing that to the world with what that looks like. How many hours did you dial? How many appointments did you book? Midday, I'm at this. I'm not going to stop till I hit this. Like giving that out to the world will elevate the people around you.
That's exactly right.
And you'll get more out of your agents. But so many people in like the group chats, Facebook groups, and even Slack, they're so silent in those. Make people know who you are. Put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. Be coachable. Make mistakes. Sean says, go run and break things and we'll fix it. Like activity is everything in this business.